Alright guys, welcome back to the shop again. I thought I'd just do another follow-up video on our install process of our Hellion twin turbo kit on our 2019 Mustang GT. Still haven't quite got it completed yet. We worked on it this week as we could. Can't devote, full time on it. There's other things that has to be done as well, but we've got a lot accomplished and we pretty much got it whooped as far as the install goes. I'll show you everything on the top side. The 18 style manifolds back on the engine, stock throttle body, got all the charge air plumbing hooked up, got the fuel system pretty much hooked all back up. We went with some VMP fuel billet fuel rails for the factory style manifold, and this time we went with a set of Injector Dynamics actually 1700X injectors. We wanted to make sure that we have plenty of fuel injector to grow into. Got all that hooked up. We still got to hook up our boost reference on our fuel pressure regulator. We still got some vacuum lines and some boost reference lines to hook up with our between our blow-off valves and our wastegates. But here's a shot there. You can see the Hellion 4-in-1 headers on the driver's side real good. They fit really well, and I would highly recommend that if you're going to install this kit to opt for the 4-in-1 headers. And the reason why, guys, is with a turbo setup, you want as least amount of exhaust back pressure as possible, because especially when you're running a full exhaust system, you'll get to a point, with boost and power, that you'll start building exhaust back pressure because of the turbo setup and your exhaust flow. And what happens is once you get an excessive amount of exhaust back pressure, you'll start putting a lot of pressure back on the valve springs in the engine, and particularly the exhaust valves. And anyway, it'll cause you to have some high RPM valve float. I'm sure a lot of you guys that have messed with these cars have seen some high RPM misfires with these setups when you turn up the boost quite a bit. And a lot of cases you have to go in and put stiffer valve springs in. But we got stock valve springs that came installed in this crate engine from Ford. I think they'll be fine, but we did opt for the 4-in-1 headers to get the most exhaust flow that we possibly could, because the 4-in-1 is going to flow a little better than the factory style header, and that'll help with the exhaust back pressure situation just a little bit. So I would recommend that, but that's pretty much all you can see from the top side. We got the front cowling nose back on the car. The intercoolers in there. In case you wonder, the mass airflow sensor mounts in the intercooler on these setups. Is you're blowing through the mass airflow sensor to read your airflow into the engine. But that's pretty much all you can see from the top. I'll raise it up where you can see things from up under the bottom. It's really a neat setup. They done, I have to say, Hellion done their homework, because everything fits. It's really tight and snug, but it fits. And that come through, the process of trial and error with their engineering, but they've got it figured out. Looking up here, you can see the bottom side of our intercooler. You can see the brackets that we made to support the intercooler from the bottom, since we have a Steeda tubular K-member up under this car. And with the tubular K-member, you can see things a lot better as well, and it gives you a little more room around the turbos, and you'll be able to see that. You can see your charge pipes on both sides where they come off the turbo, and it does go up under the front suspension, but the suspension is all the way down because there's no weight on it, so It's clear now. It's going to clear even more when you put tires and wheels on the car and you set it back down on the ground. See this side as well. You can see your blow-off valve. There's one on both sides. And like I said, it's tight, but it fits. And you can see the turbos and the air filter with the air filters installed. And like I said, guys, these are the 62 millimeter ball bearing turbos from Hellion. They're good quality turbos. You can see we got our oil pressure lines and drain lines hooked up. You can see our wastegates. And we got our exhaust hooked up. We are going to redo our exhaust back here since we got a drive shaft safety loop in the way the bungs are for the rear O2 sensors. There's not enough room right there, so we're going to relocate those rear O2s and redo that so we can raise our exhaust pipes up a little bit closer up under the bottom of the car because they're hanging kind of low right now. So we're going to redo that, but that's no biggie. And but yeah, everything's fits really nice. You can see the bottom side of the oil pump drive right there. You can see the belt there. It's a cog belt. And there's the evacuation pump, oil pump for the turbos. Basically what it does is sucks the oil out of the turbos and returns it to the valve cover on top of the engine so it can recycle back into the crankcase. But got all that mounted up. Fits really well. Like I said, we've got a ATI overdrive balancer on this car from the supercharger setup, but it works fine. You can make it work. You don't have to have the stock harmonic balancer on the engine for it to work. But that's where we're at. We've got to hook up our boost controller. Like I said, type some boost reference lines, some vacuum lines, and double check everything and flash a new tune in the car for the new setup, and we should be able to start it up in the next and show it running in the next video. So stay tuned, guys. Keep following along. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you again soon.